32 up-and-coming chefs from across the UK are putting their reputations on the line in a battle to become professional MasterChef champion. 4 new hopefuls are competing to impress Judge Greg Wallace, renowned chef Monica Galetti, and Michelin-starred Marcus Waring.
I'm feeling really nervous. Part of me wants to run away.
Let the passion come through and keep smiling, keep going. That's what I'm here to do.
I want to show the judges a bit of my flair and hopefully not let the pressure crack me down to a little ball.
Britain's chefs have been busting to get back behind the stoves, and it's time we found a new star.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this. I can't wait to see what chefs are going to come through that door.
Start of a brand new competition. Really good to be back here with you two chefs.
I'm a bit nervous. I'm always nervous for them, especially on the first round.
You looking forward to some good food?
Oh, yeah, but let's get the skills test done first, shall we? We have 4 chefs waiting to start their MasterChef competition. 2 of them, Monica, are going to be doing your skills test. Marcus, 2 of them yours. What are you going to get them to do?
The first skills test is bangers and mash, beer and onion gravy.
Really?
Great British classic.
How long are you going to give them, chef?
20 minutes. First job, I'm going to start the beer and onion gravy. And I'm going to use a stout for my sauce. Nice, bitter stout. Get that slowly reducing. I'm going to get my onions on. So I'm looking for our chefs to cut them nice and neatly.
Marcus, why did you choose bangers and mash?
It's not only a home-cooked dish, it's a pub dish, it's a restaurant dish. There are lovely little key skills in here Monica and I will be looking for. Get those into there.
I'd hope they walk in here and don't think, you know, oh, bangers and mash, done in 10 minutes. Use the time carefully to cook them beautifully, to make a wonderful sauce to go with it, and the best mashed potato they've ever made.
And that's quite a lot of onions, but when it's an onion gravy, I want onions in my sauce. So, next, I'm going to get my sausages on. Sausages, for me, are all about just great colour all the way over. I don't want one side coloured more than the other. I don't see one side burnt. It's all small little points of detail. I'm just going to sit them in a nice butter paper, and they'll just nicely, just gently tick over in there. Onions are caramelising, and now I'm going to flame them with some brandy.
Flambe bangers and mash. You know you're on Pro MasterChef when that happens.
I'm going to put a little splash of balsamic vinegar, a little bit of stock. So the stout is nicely reducing. So I'm now going to counteract the bitterness of it by just incorporating a little bit of honey.
If our chefs don't sweeten the reduced stout or the reduced ale, it's going to be very bitter, yeah?
Yeah. So just adding the stout into there, just a bit at a time, keep reducing that down.
Lots and lots of care and love going into that gravy.
I want them to make a mash. I've got some milk in here just warming through. I've given them a baked potato. Push it through, don't scrape it through, because it'll just get claggy.
It sounds simple, but we've had bad mash before, especially under pressure. It's got to be smooth, it's got to be seasoned. You want to get some of that butter through it.
We've all had this. You must have had this dish when you were a kid, right?
Yeah, my dad was a potato merchant, as you know, so I think we've probably had potatoes pretty much every day of our lives. Potato puree into the pan. And we'll start adding the milk and the butter into it, so it's nice and rich. And we're ready to plate.
Oh, nice.
Sausages on. A nice big dollop potato puree.
Oh, mate.
And there you have it. Bangers, mash, beer and onion gravy.
That's making bangers and mash about as posh as you can, that is.
I think our chefs are going to be in for a little bit of a surprise with this one.
Monica, you are going to keep a watchful eye from the back room.
Right.
We'll see you back for the tasting.
First in is Private Chef Dan. whose childhood in Birmingham inspired his love of food.
I'm half Cantonese, quarter English, quarter Irish, so it's a big mix there. I grew up around Chinese food on the weekends, lasagnas, cottage pies in the week. I'd say my food style is a mix of modern European and Asian cuisine, focusing on big flavours and what you can get out of each ingredient. First time in the MasterChef kitchen, nerves will hit me, no doubt. I'm used to walking into new environments, but this is a different ball game, and I'm hoping I just don't crumble.
This skills test was set by Marcus.
Good to meet you, Dan. I'd like you to make for us bangers and mash, served with a beer and onion gravy. 20 minutes, Dan, off you go. Right, Dan, you got a plan?
I'm kind of putting it together as I go along, so I'm gonna saute off some garlic, some onions for my gravy. I'm gonna get the sausages in, brown them off, get a nice colour, finish them off in the oven. And that'll be for my mash.
OK.
It's never easy for any chef to walk into a different kitchen. Got to think on his feet what he's making.
So what type of chef are you, Dan?
I've worked in restaurants most of my life, and then I moved to private chefing about a couple of years ago.
OK. It's very different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very different. You can focus more on your own style when you're a private chef, but obviously you miss the interaction with other chefs in the kitchen.
Have you cooked this type of dish for the people that you work for?
No one really asks for bangers and mash, if I'm completely honest with you. I know, it's criminal.
I would. Ever you had a private chef, I bet you'd ask for bangers and mash.
Most certainly. At least twice a month.
Oh, sausages are bursty. That's a shame.
I'm just going to finish them off in the oven.
You've got 10 minutes left.
So, tell me about the sauce. How are you going to make that?
I've just sweated down some onions and some garlic. I've added a couple of bay leaves for some flavour. I'm going to add the beer. Honestly, I'm doing this as I go along.
It would have been good to at least see him reduce that beer down before he put the stock in. I don't think he's going to have the depth of flavour.
Are you happy with everything you've done so far?
To an extent, it's the most simple dish, and it just caught me completely off guard.
What do you just put into that sauce? Some honey?
Some honey, yeah.
Why?
I want some sweetness through it. It's quite bitter at the moment, because you've got the ale and everything.
Oh, he's passed the onions up. Oh, I like the onions in the gravy.
We've got just 2 minutes.
2 minutes,
All right. You're going to have to get it on a plate.
Now, you got a plan of how you're going to address this?
No, I haven't, but I assume there's only so far you can go with bangers and mash.
Yeah, it's not very thick. It's not like a gravy. And it's also, he's passed all the body out with the onions. Oh, dear.
All done?
Yes.
All right, Dan?
Very well, thank you, Chef.
Sounded easier than it was, huh?
Dan, you could have caramelised the sausages a little bit better, which is unfortunate because it's sort of burst one of the sausages open. Pompure, it's nice, it's smooth. Onion gravy, leave the onions in. But you do have a nice flavour of beer in there, and by counteracting the bitterness of the ale with the honey, you've got a lovely balance. Not bad at all.
From what I could see, there is a chef here. You showed great knife skills. You're very tidy and methodical in what you're doing here. Don't overthink it.
Interestingly, Dan, you haven't actually got off to a bad start. And actually, it looks like you know what you're doing.
Thank you. Thanks, chefs. I was expecting like classical French, stuff like that, and you get hit with sausage and mash. And because it's so simple, your mind starts running. You want to elevate it a bit more, and I just didn't in the end.
Next in is Nico, who specialised in pastry before taking on his first head chef job last year.
I'm originally from Gibraltar, and obviously it's a British overseas territory, so we have the traditional fish and chips and the Sunday roast, but you've got those Mediterranean influences. So all of that really comes together to form the basis of my cuisine. Life as a chef can be tough, but it's the passion for food that really drives me. Service, please. I'm going into this competition all guns blazing, and I really want to do well and get as far as I can.
Nico, you okay?
Yes.
Good, good, good. Right, I'd like you to cook for us a dish of bangers and mash, served with a beer and onion gravy.
Okay.
20 minutes, Nico. Off you go.
Come on, Nico, let's do this. I hope he doesn't try to rush through it. Would be good to see him pass the mashed potato.
You got the pom puree in the pan. Anything else in there?
Milk, just a touch of milk.
Is that in there now?
Yep, that's in there now, so it's working away.
That mashed potato's not looking very good. It's a bit lumpy.
Got the onions in for the gravy, so I'm just going to colour those off.
Which beer are you going to use?
I'm going with a stout. I think it's really full of flavour.
Where are you from, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm originally from Gibraltar, so I moved here when I was in my late teens. I was a modern languages student for 4 years and then decided that it was actually not what I wanted to do.
Do you speak other languages?
I speak Spanish along with English, French and Catalan, and a little bit of Mandarin. I don't like making my life easy.
Oh, keep an eye on those sausages.
You've had 8 minutes, Nico.
I think he's just realised he hasn't passed his potatoes, so now he's going to pass it.
So what's in the pan with the onions right now?
I've added in the stout and a little bit of mustard, reduced that, and I've added the beef stock with a bit of garlic.
But what's a good gravy to you?
A good gravy to me should be packed full of flavour, and you should be able to make it in a small amount of time.
You've got 3 minutes, OK?
Oh, my word. Oh.
Oh, I like a food balance for me.
And that's it.
How'd you find that?
Nerve-wracking, but it was a lot of fun, yeah.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, don't hear that often. What done you?
Nice presentation. A few points of detail there, though. Potato puree doesn't have the creaminess and the texture that I personally was looking for. Caramelising the sausages, what I was looking for was colorisation all around the sausage. There's no ale flavour in the sauce at all. It's actually quite bland. So these are key things, especially for the chef in your position, that I would expect you to know like the back of your hands.
Nico, there's no real depth and flavour. Everything we give you here is an opportunity for you to showcase what you can do. You know, just because of the title of the challenge, don't let that fool you into thinking I can, you know, get away with doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. We are watching.
It doesn't taste as good as the one Marcus cooked for me, but I'd eat this for lunch. Nico, we will see you in the next round.
It was a battering. I thought it was going to be harder, and I underestimated it, and that came back to bite me in the behind.
Right, Monica, your skills test now. What are you going to get them to do?
I would like our chefs to prepare and cook us a portion of monkfish served with a pea and bacon ragu.
I am very, very much looking forward to this. Prepping of a monkfish is an expert challenge. And a pea and bacon ragu, a little stew. How long are you going to give them, Monica?
20 minutes.
Please, Monica, show us how you do it.
The first job is to get my ragu started because I'm going to put the vegetables through it. They've got to cook in time. And then I'll prep and cook my monkfish at the end. So a hot pan. Started with the bacon because I want the bacon nice and golden. Then I'm going to add my veg to that. I'm cutting the veg down so I'm sure they're going to cook in time. In with my carrots as well. So in with some of the chicken stock, and I'm just letting the stock cook gently. I'm going to now prepare my monkfish. And what's really important is removing the different layers of the sinew underneath the actual skin.
Is there a membrane there covering all the flesh?
Yeah, and there's quite a few layers of that membrane, because what happens if they leave that on, it sort of pulls the fish together and it causes it to sort of tighten up, and that's not what we want. It's also not very nice to eat.
Yeah, this is a massive part of this dish, this skill of knowing how to skin it and take the membrane off, and that's even before you've got it in the pan.
Now I'm just going down the middle bone and just gently taking the fillets off. And in it goes into the pan.
Beautifully cooked piece of monkfish is absolutely delicious. But the line of being cooked and overcooked is so fine. It is all about timing and skill, really.
The magic ingredient, a bit of butter to bring it all together.
Like a bit of butter.
Yeah, I noticed, Chef. I'm surprised you haven't got your own dairy farm, you two.
Just pop the fish into the oven. That won't need any more than a couple of minutes, and that's just enough time to finish the ragu. And then just to finish it off, some fresh gem lettuce.
Oh, that's lovely.
And there you have it, guys. Monkfish with a pea and bacon ragu.
That is beautiful.
Nice skill. You make it look easy, but it isn't.
First to face Monica's test is Lauren, who left her job as chef on a super yacht to run her own cafe in Surrey.
I work for myself, I'm my own boss, and it's great just to be able to manage the hours, and I can cook whatever food I want to cook. Whereas on a super yacht, you're getting people expecting everything of you. And I just enjoy bringing all my experiences onto the plate, whether it's from my time in France or Italy or the Caribbean. I feel like it's the time to just really put myself out there and start believing in myself a bit more. I'm so ready to sharpen my knives and get going.
Lauren, we get many nervous chefs in here, but not many come in here with an enormous grin on their face.
Lauren, I would like you to prepare and cook us a portion of this lovely monkfish, served with a pea and bacon ragu. You've got 20 minutes. Off you go. So, Lauren, just talk us through your process of preparing the monkfish.
So I've started by taking it off the bone. I'm just going to take off the skin.
It's always better with the monkfish when you start off by just pulling the skin straight off and then go to the membrane afterwards, but she's actually just filleted it first. Oh my God.
Oh, God.
Do you like monkfish?
Yeah, I do. It's one of my favourite fish to eat.
How do you plan to make the ragu?
I'm going to start by putting the bacon into a pan, chop up some onions, get those in.
Will it take long?
It will, so I'm going to get onto that right now.
How did you get into catering?
I've been working on super yachts for the last 7 years. Met some amazing people along the way. Weird and wonderful.
We kind of fit into both those categories.
Weird and wonderful.
Well, of course. Yeah. Of course.
And then we got Grumpy at the back.
I heard that. That's not good. She didn't need to put stock in there just now. She needed to get that cooked down, caramelised properly first.
Are you all right?
Oh, good.
It's nervy, isn't it?
Nervy.
You can see it. You can see the fish. Look at it pulling together now. That's because of the membrane. It's literally shrinking right there. OK, so you've got lettuce in there, which is not a bad idea. That's nice.
You've got 3 minutes, OK? Are you done?
Yes. Oh dear.
Monkfish has many layers of skin on it. And the easiest way to remove that skin is if it's kept on the bone. You didn't do that. And the end result from that is the layer that we have here on the fish, and it's just pulled in tight. Not good cooking skills. I like the way you use the baby gem just to roast it off. The ragu is not great. It's full of bacon, and it's just so salty now because the sauce has evaporated. Show us what you can do in the next round.
There's very little sauce going on with this ragu. I do like the sweetness of the peas, but you didn't at any point look particularly comfortable with that fish.
Not a great start. I think you need to put a line under this experience. Come back in here and show us who you are as a chef, because I don't know yet. It's down to you.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. You know, I've cooked throughout my career for some pretty high-end people, but at the same time, the people that I've cooked for aren't Michelin star chefs. That was absolutely terrible, and yeah, feeling kind of relieved that it's over.
Last in is 27-year-old Dario, whose parents were both chefs.
My passion for food began in Portugal at age 4. You know, I was the only child, so I was always following my mum around, and my mum was always in the kitchen. So that's where I started to pan fish and peel potatoes, just watching her cook, and that's how I gained interest for this industry. Being a chef was always in the back of my mind. I could never just sit down in the office doing 9 to 5. It would never work for me. I've got too much energy in me, and I need to be hands-on. Service, please. And I can't wait to get started. You know, I want to show people what I'm capable of, and I'd love to get some feedback from Marcus and Monica.
Dario, 20 minutes to prepare and cook us a portion of the monkfish with a pea and bacon ragu.
Yes, chef.
Do you like monkfish?
Yes, chef. I've used it previously on a dish that I did with a chorizo ragu and a cauliflower puree.
OK.
So, talk us through how you prepare the monkfish.
So I'm just removing one side of the monkfish from the bone, take the skin out, trim any extra sinew that may be in it.
Skin's off now. So now we've got to start taking the membrane out.
It's an interesting name, Dario. Where were you brought up?
I was brought up in Portugal. I moved to England when I was 12 years old.
Did you speak English?
None at all.
Mate, that's a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit of a challenge to begin with.
It's a shame he's not taking the membrane off. He's got to start the ragu. Ragu needs to get depth of flavour, he needs to get things in the right pan in the right order.
You're halfway. Dario, you've got 10 minutes left, my friend.
Wait.
Dario, talk us through your ragu process.
I'm going to start the monkfish, and then in the same pan as the monkfish, I'm going to work with a bit of butter, the bacon. I'm going to caramelise these onions with a bit of charred gem, and then I'm going to add the peas to finish it off.
Why in the same pan as the fish?
If you incorporate all of that together, you get the most flavour throughout the whole dish and not just a garnish with a bit of monkfish.
So if he's going to cook all these ingredients together in the same pan, he's going to have to get his time. It's absolutely spot on. But you can see that the membrane's tightening the fish up. And the bacon going in last. dear. You don't boil fish like that. Ah, so you've got the lettuce in the second pan. It's got a nice colour on that lettuce, which is good.
Why are you here, chef?
I like to show the people I've worked with how much I've grown as a chef, and I just want to do them proud.
Is there someone in particular that's inspired you?
Mainly Mum, because she was the one that got me started.
5 minutes, chef.
Wait,
Is that cooked?
almost there.
Yeah, you tested the fish by touch.
What are you doing?
Just making sure that the carrots will be cooked in time, so I just cut them another time.
Oh, I see.
I hope he doesn't forget the peas, because it is a pea ragu. Ah, there we go.
You done?
2 more seconds.
Dario, the monkfish, you took it off the bone, yet still left a lot of the sinew through it. And you can see that, you know, when you're cooking it, and it's the part that's sort of pulling the fish in. In saying that, the process that you went through, trying to get all the flavours into the ragu, that's a great thing to do. It's just a bit awkward, the methods that you were using there, Dario.
Your peas have got a nice flavour to them. Your lettuce is cooked well. Your sauce is a little bit on the salty side, but it's not a bad dish. I just question your techniques and the way in which you go around your cookery. It's something you need to sharpen up on.
The dish actually tastes pretty good. Once I myself have removed the rubbery bit from the monkfish, its texture's not bad. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, it was all right. Just disappointed with the feedback. Yeah, I tried to do the best I can, but still could have done better.
We have seen our first 4 chefs of this year's competition.
It's the first skills test. It's tough. You get a little flavour of who our chefs are. I thought Dan and Nico did OK. Dario and Lauren, I think they've got a little bit of catching up to do.
We've seen it many times happen in this kitchen. Everything can turn on its head in the next round.
They give us knockout dishes and that's it, they go through.
Next time, it's all to play for as Dan, Nico, Lauren and Dario get the chance to impress with their own food.
I'm a little bit frantic, but I'm good. I've got this.
Only the best 2 can go through to the quarter-final.
That's a cracking dish.
This is fabulous.